I felt like Thursday's practice was a news nugget pinata. You smash that thing and stuff keeps falling. You smash it and stuff keeps falling. I felt like there was so much stuff to cover yesterday that I couldn't even get in. It was a long podcast, like almost a half an hour. I probably could have done more. Today's is different though. I think that's what I'm going to name the podcast. It was the calm before the scrimmage storm tomorrow. There was some good nuggets here. It's not going to be a long one. I thought there's some valuable stuff, just not as much. Yesterday, to me, was a really, really deep day. So much interesting things. But the scrimmage starts tomorrow, and that's where you're going to see the notch of evaluations go up. It's going to be a fast and furious from this point forward. So I'm going to get into the information today. Some good stuff, just not, for me, a ton. A guy's doing a live tonight at 10 p.m. Come check me out there. Going to have a bunch of the guys on. We talk what's going on with the Dolphins, all the way up to this point, anything you want in the comments. But generally, we're going to be talking about what we've seen so far. So definitely come check me out there. And, listen, likes, subscribes, and comments and views. That feeds these hungry algorithm gods. Keeps me in the business. I appreciate all that you guys do. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you're watching the thing and you like it, hit that thumbs up and really put a comment. I love the comments. To me, I could see good views and good thumbs up. If I'm not seeing enough comments, I freak. I love hearing from you guys because to me, I learn so much and it drives me down so many different trails. And I feel like that's the real crucial part for me. So do that. And if you've subbed and you haven't hit the notification bell, do that too, because I'm told that's a good thing for the algorithm gods as well. Anyway, but you guys have done so much, so I really appreciate it. I want to give you a shout out and a shout out to Ace Bread, my sponsor. Without the two of you, this show ain't going down. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, there's guys that, if you really don't know them and you see their names and you see other names, there's a tendency for me to go, oh, these guys and dismiss them. More often than not, that's the way it plays out. But there are occasions, guys like Kohu, Needham, among others, that they rise way past what you think they're going to do. Now, a bunch of people have been talking about different guys, Grayson Murphy. Another one, though, is Quentin Bell. Chris Kaufman put this up on the X-Twitter thing. Quentin Bell making noise in the Miami Dolphins training camp. Keep in mind, when he came out, a prayer review, he was a very raw, actually raw, not the catch-all way people use the term when they just want to look like they're actually saying something, but highly athletic. Quentin Bell's number is 4.3840, 41.5 vertical, crazy, 11.4 broad jump, 4.31 shuttle, 7.09 cone, 22 reps on the bench are amazing balls for a 238-pound guy. Yeah, insane numbers. But you're still left not knowing what to do with them because he's not a DN and you're not making him a rush LB either. Totally start from scratch guy. So you can see April 10th is when he said that. And so he's not Johnny come lately like me. He was on it early and he is rephrasing it, bring it back to the forefront here today. So Bell has been making all kinds of pop. Reason likes Grayson Murphy. There's a bunch of guys who like different people. I like Storm Duck, but mostly just for the name because, I don't know, I'm a simple man in that way. But he's doing good. According to Alf, if you watch my interview with him, he likes Storm Duck. Anyway, Kaufman really saw this guy as something. I didn't know his numbers. I kind of dismissed him. It was my lack of due diligence. So keep your eyes on him. We've seen a lot going forward. He's a little bit of an unknown, but with that kind of potential as far as his physical talent, and then you're seeing it on the field, very intriguing guy. We'll see when we get to the scrimmages and a preseason how that plays out. But man, that's very, very intriguing. Okay, so Another thing for me, I believe that Phillips is going to be back sooner rather than later, early in the season. I do think they're going to, he'll miss the first 4 games. Maybe he comes back that 5th game against the Patriots. It's a manageable game. Maybe he waits till after the bye week. They activate him at the Patriots game and get him back into the flow. But he started doing lateral movements, and people saying he's way ahead of where he's at. And I hope he is, and when he arrives, he's in the right spot. But I would rather be patient with him. And if you're just starting lateral movement, to me, it's still not 3-4 weeks away. Because remember that, you're running fast forward, but it's the lateral movement that's the real concern. Because those the tendons get stretched laterally so much. When you're planting and holding, you're making those cuts. And if he's just starting a lateral movement now, he's got to also get his body ready to absorb that, especially in a run game. I still don't see him playing till about week 5. But there's some people that are saying maybe week 1. I don't know. I hope not. I hope so if everything's okay. But I really like him. And you can check the film out there. It's very intriguing. But I still think week 5, week 6, week 7, some in that range. But I'm just a guy who's doing this here, so take it for what it is. Now, there was a lot of penalties. There was a lot of penalties yesterday on the offensive line. Today was a lot of encroachment on the defense, loads and loads of penalties. Not like insane. The refs were here, and I saw a good little bit of information. Maybe I knew, but I forgot. But last year, Fangio, when the refs weren't here, he was throwing flags. And we need to make sure that we are disciplined. And so it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Fangio is no. But whatever the case may be, if we're going to have success this year, our discipline is going to play a major part. So throw out that. Now, Chop Robinson and Jackson had some battles today. And what I think you saw, from these two little bits and pieces, you're going to see strengths and weaknesses, okay, from each player. Now, Chop put Jackson on skates in a pass rush. That's Chop's strength. He gets into you quick. He's got pretty good strength. His explosion accentuates that strength with the momentum. Jackson isn't really strong. He's more of an agile defender. And so you could see the weakness of Jackson and the strength of Chop. But at another point, Jackson pancaked Chop, and that's one of Chop's weaknesses. He's not really so hot with the hands in both pass rush and run defense. And the run defense part is really, he's big, he's 250, 6'3". But Jackson, he's a big guy, man. I don't think he's as strong yet as he is big. I still think he's a little young. But he was able to get the movement, get on Chop, and pancake him. So I thought that was interesting. Overall, the offensive line was rated average. Tehran still not in. He was limited. Lamb had a terrible day at left tackle. He's playing right tackle, and I think it's very clear now that he is the third guy up. Paul will be the 4th. They'll keep 4. They're going to keep – some people think Keon Smith. I don't know about that. But Tehran, Jackson, Lamb, and Paul, and Lamb's going to be the primary backup on both sides. And I think it's being dialed in very clear that in case of emergency, that's Paul. And we're hoping he doesn't get there unless it's trash time or the end of the season. Now, one last note on the offensive line. Robert Jones is a guy I've been talking about for a while. He has sort of knocked knees, and his movement skills weren't so hot. But if you watch the Alf 3 yards per carry interview I had, he talked about Jones being leaner, looking like he's gotten rid of some of that bad weight and put some of the good weight on. And that's going to help him with his structural limitations. The guy is strong. The guy is fierce. He's a good kid. He's a tough kid. You don't bull rush him. And so now what he's doing, he's taking his weakest part, and through conditioning and hard work, he's uplifted that part. And everyone's saying he's having a great camp. And so you got to ask yourself, if he's having a great camp and Eichenberg is barely having an average one, then we should be seeing Jones starting over Eichenberg. Now, the caveat I talked about yesterday, if Wynn's injured and he doesn't come back in time, then you could have Eichenberg and Jones starting in the left and right guard position. But if Wynn's healthy and he's starting, whoever starts over, it's Eichenberg or Jones, is going to tell me a lot about what the staff's at. I feel like it's been nepotism for Eichenberg. I felt like he's been round peg in a square hole trying to be forced on his roster. I thought Jones should have been starting way before this, but Eichenberg kept getting it. So we'll see what we're really about. Competition, best players play. If Jones is truly playing this good, continues to play this good, and Eichenberg continues to play as he does, if Jones gets in there and Eichenberg is the backup, it's a little curious for $4 million, but that's a good sign this is about the competition. Now, a little birdie told me the Dolphins are trying to trade for a guard. They're looking for another guard. They're not too high on Eichenberg. And so that's great news for us Dolphin fans. But if somehow nothing happens and Eichenberg gets in there when he shouldn't, that's not good news. So to me, that's a really key part of where we're at as a team. Now, last thing I want to talk about, two things. Javon Holland had a fumble. If you go back and watch the film, Javon Holland caused a fumble. I think it was Mostert. They picked it up. But you go back and you look at the film, and there was 2 holds there. And it was a nice hold. I was like, oh, wow, that's nice. I forget about the fumble. But then when I went back to the film, I think it was Brewer, had another guy was coming at him. He just put his hand out, grabbed him. The left guard, whoever that was, I couldn't see. He grabbed another guy, and I hated to see that. This offensive line needs to be cleaned. The refs might not call that stuff, but it was I said in the Twitter thing, that play should have been thrown into like 20,000 leagues under the sea. But for an offensive line that's average, seeing that stuff bothers me. The good news is Tehran's not in. When Tehran gets in and eventually win, everything will pick up. It'll be better. But at this stage, I'm not really hot on this offensive line yet. And the last bit is Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith he's been a little bit of injury thing going on. He's been in, he's been out, Today he had a very impactful day. This guy is he's way bigger, in my opinion, than OBJ. This guy, if he's healthy and he's running the football, he's catching the football, he's affecting from that inline and off a tight end spot, and he can affect the middle and he can be physical in those pocket posts. It can be run through him, and those safeties they're not going to line up to pop him because he's not 5'8", 190 pounds. And he can force these linebackers to chase him, and he can stress these secondaries. It's going to be huge. The tight end is the security blanket of the quarterback, and it is a critical position. It's been there for a long, long time. I mean, it's always kind of been, but it's kind of grown in prominence. But now I think it's even more important to have quality talent at the tight end position. And if he's healthy, he is that. Not the greatest run blocker, pretty good pass blocker. He's willing. But Jonnu Smith had a phenomenal day. There was a lot of stuff. He had some drops early, but it's not a big deal. But he made some really great plays. They really stressed things, and he really helped us offensive out. So this guy is a guy you got to keep your eyes on and pray that he's healthy, because I think that Dolphin fans, for a lot of reasons, especially on the opponent's side of the football and in the red zone, is going to play big for us. Big, bigger than I think most people think. Maybe not, I don't know, we'll see. But I think so. I really do. I think now you have the potential for Smythe and him and run 12 personnel. And 12 personnel helps you in the red zone. It helps you in those short down situations. It helps you so much. You don't want to run 60% like we did in 2021, but we literally couldn't run 12 personnel last year. And so I think he's going to be huge and was a really good sign for that. So that's the whole deal. Get ready for the real starting of action tomorrow. I'm excited. I can't wait to see film. As much as I love Alf and all the other guys I really pay attention to, and everybody who's providing this great information, I don't care if you like them or they don't. They're providing you information you could not get. So we all need to be grateful for these guys. But I want to see it myself. I'm past I can stand it. It's starting to get aggravating. I want film. I want to see this stuff. I want to be, I really want to get the taste, I know you guys all feel that. So it's coming. It's getting there. It's getting close. It's getting close. So anyway, be well. Go Fins. Curtis out. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with acebread.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.